Zita Stevens was in the basement of her home doing laundry with her 2 young daughters, unaware that in the living room upstairs, the Christmas tree had caught fire and flames were quickly spreading through the house.
We heard this big boom. We opened the door and all we saw was fire. Mommy was panicking and I told Mommy to go back up and shut the door.
Danielle grabbed my hand and said, "Mommy, what are you doing? We need to get out." And I said, "I don't know how. How are we going to get out?" I went towards the washer thinking that maybe I could just wrap the kids up in wet clothes and get them out.
I told Mommy to stop panicking. I said we could get out the cellar door. Because Daddy told me that he would never trap us in. Then the smoke started coming out of the furnace. I thought it was going to blow up. Me and Mommy started kicking, and it just ripped the hole. It was cold, and Desi stopped crying because she thought it was hot out.
It's hard to describe the feelings that you feel when you see your house burning. I don't know how long I stood there watching the flames. And Danny took my hand again, said, Mommy, what are you doing? We have to go to Mimi's and call 911.
Within 10 minutes of the call, units with the Dover Foxcroft Fire Department arrived, led by Fire Chief Joe Gaillot.
Fire was coming out 3 sides of the building. There was an ungodly amount of fire. If Zita had not closed the upstairs door, it would have acted as a backdraft when the downstairs door had been opened. It would have blown them right out through, I'm quite sure of it, with that amount of fire.
Peter rushed home as soon as he heard about the fire.
And I was trying to calm Zita down so she could explain what was going on. And then she told me that if it wasn't for Danielle, that they wouldn't be there. Somebody come up to me and they said, "You lost everything." And I said, "No." I said, "My family's fine. This is just a bunch of boards burning. I built one, I can build another one. At least I have something to build one for." When I was back in 6th grade, there was a classmate of mine that the whole family burnt because their house got on fire, and they went to the back door to get out, and it was spiked shut. And that really stuck to me hardcore. And I told Danielle, I said, there's no way that you'll be trapped in this house in case of something. I said, this is still an exit. You can always come out. Just open the door and kick your way out.
6 months later, the Stevens family has rebuilt their house and their lives.
We took the precautions that any family takes. We had smoke detectors, but I panicked. It's an incredible thing to look back and know that my 7-year-old daughter was the person that I depended on in a crisis.
Oh, girls, look at the view from here.
She has said that she knew to shut the door at the top of the stairs because one episode of Rescue 911 told that if you're in a room with a door, you should shut the door and somehow keep the smoke from coming in.
Danielle was one smart little girl that did the right things to save her family. You take your hat off to a little girl that can pull what she did off without panicking herself. I mean, she saved her mama and her sister.
The National Fire Protection Association recommends that smoke detectors be installed on every level of the home and tested each month, and that every family have planned and practiced escape routes.
So what we gonna do today, huh?
I was sleeping, and then my sister woke up, and she said that there was this red stuff falling in the room. She said, "What is that?" I said, "It's fire. It's dangerous. Move back." I told him to get on the floor because that's where all the good air was.
My husband and I were sleeping in the bed, and my children had came into the room and said, "Daddy, Mommy, our room is on fire."
He showed me through that fire. He showed me, "Daddy, come on, get on the floor." He told me, "Get on the floor."
Rescue 911 helped me by showing me what things to do if you have a fire, like get on the floor, start crawling, go to a nearby neighbor's, and call 911.
I'm so glad that they have a program like that on the air for children to watch. Because if my children had not watched that show, we would not be alive today.
That's why I'm here right now to this very day. From what they learned from Rescue 911, prevented a tragedy in my house, in our house. They are my heroes. They are my little heroes.